Have you ever wondered how some people seem calm and at peace, no matter how chaotic the world gets? Over 2,500 years ago, a young man named Siddhartha Gautama set out to answer that exact question. Born into a life of luxury, he was shaken by the reality of suffering beyond his palace walls. Instead of giving up, he embarked on a life-changing quest for truth, eventually becoming the Buddha. His teachings would inspire monks for centuries, yet they're accessible to everyone who seeks genuine happiness. And while these insights have guided monastics for millennia, they can also spark profound change in our modern world. Are you ready to begin? Today, we'll explore 10 essential monk rules that can transform your life in surprising ways. Why this wisdom matters today. Modern society offers more wealth and technology than ever, yet anxiety and dissatisfaction seem to be at record highs. People chase new achievements, relationships, and possessions, hoping these will finally bring lasting happiness. Still, many find themselves stuck in a cycle of craving and discontent. Centuries ago, Buddha observed the same pattern, humans fleeing discomfort and grasping at fleeting pleasures that never fully satisfy. He concluded that the cause of our suffering lies not in external circumstances, but in the restless mind itself, its attachments, fears, and illusions. His wisdom shows a different path, turning inward, releasing needless burdens, and nurturing qualities like mindfulness and compassion. Imagine waking each morning free from persistent worry, no longer tormented by anger or regret. This is the promise of Buddha's teachings, liberation through understanding. The 10 monk rules below can help you embrace that promise and transform your daily life from the inside out. The middle way, avoiding extremes and living with balance. Buddha began his life in opulence, then swung to the opposite extreme of severe austerity. Neither indulgence nor self-denial provided true peace. Ultimately, he discovered the middle way, an approach that rejects all or nothing thinking. In today's frantic world, it's easy to burn yourself out chasing achievements or to become stagnant from a lack of purpose. The middle way offers a gentle reminder that harmony is found in balanced living. Work diligently, but allow time to rest. Care for your health, but avoid becoming obsessed with every flaw. Pursue your goals, yet hold them lightly so they don't consume you. Think of a stringed instrument. Pulled too tight, it snaps. Left too loose, it won't play. The middle way helps you find that sweet spot where life flows naturally. By embracing moderation over extremes, you create room for steady growth, clearer judgment, and a more peaceful heart. Attachment leads to suffering. How to let go and find peace. One of Buddha's profound discoveries was that clinging to anything, people, objects, ideas, breeds suffering. We naturally want security, so we hold on to what feels safe. But life is always changing, and when the things we cherish shift or vanish, we feel pain. It's like gripping a hot coal. The tighter you squeeze, the more you burn yourself. Buddha's approach isn't to stop caring, but to love and appreciate without trying to freeze moments in time. Recognize that people evolve, fortunes wane, and circumstances shift. By allowing space for these natural changes, you free yourself from the tension of constantly needing to control or preserve. Letting go doesn't equate to indifference. It's an act of compassion, both toward yourself and those around you. The moment you release the need for permanent ownership, you'll find a new sense of peace, grounded in accepting life's impermanent nature. The power of mindfulness. Staying present in every moment. Buddha taught that dwelling on past regrets or future anxieties robs us of the only time we truly have, the present moment. Mindfulness means placing your full awareness on what's happening right now. Notice the sensation of each breath, the taste of your food, the sound of rain. Instead of letting your mind wander into endless daydreams or worries, you gently guide it back to here and now. At first, this seems deceptively simple, yet it can radically transform your life. When you're fully attentive, problems appear less daunting, and small joys become more vivid. Mindfulness helps break the cycle of mental noise that fuels stress and distracts you from living. It's not about perfection, but continual practice. Each time your thoughts drift, you calmly return to the present. Over time, your mind settles, your perspective broadens, and you discover a profound clarity beneath the rush of daily life. Non-resistance and acceptance. How to stop fighting reality and be at peace. Most suffering, Buddha observed, comes from resisting what simply is. We rail against a traffic jam, a gray sky, or a sudden setback. The more we rage, the more entangled in misery we become. Non-resistance doesn't mean surrendering to injustice. It means releasing the mental battle against unchangeable circumstances. If it's raining, you can lament it or carry an umbrella. Resistance drains energy without changing reality. Acceptance, on the other hand, opens the door to wise, calm action. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "How can I grow from this?" Buddha's insight is that fighting the flow of life is fruitless. Accepting it allows you to move gracefully, even amid challenges. By shifting from "this shouldn't happen" to "this is happening, what now?" you reclaim your power to respond effectively. This mindset transforms stumbling blocks into stepping stones on your journey to peace. The art of simplicity. Why less is more in finding true happiness. Buddha was raised in luxury, yet abandoned it to seek truth. This radical choice showed him that relentless accumulation isn't the path to fulfillment. In an age of consumerism, we're bombarded with messages that more belongings or achievements equate to greater happiness. Yet often these pursuits lead to stress and dissatisfaction. Simplicity is about stripping away what's extraneous, physically, mentally, emotionally, so what remains truly matters. Owning fewer items can mean fewer worries. Having fewer distractions can reveal more space for meaningful experiences. For monks, simplicity manifests in minimal possessions and uncluttered living, freeing their minds to focus on deeper truths. For you, it might mean reevaluating what you buy or how you spend your time. Rather than imposing harsh restrictions, simplicity fosters gratitude, calm, and clarity. By choosing less but valuing it more, you find that genuine joy doesn't come from endless expansion, but from wholeheartedly cherishing what you already have. Right speech, right action. How what you say and do affects your mind. Your words and actions, Buddha taught, form the seeds of the world you inhabit. Hurtful speech sows discord not just externally, but within your own heart. Dishonest behavior erodes trust and leaves a residue of guilt. Conversely, speaking kindly and acting with integrity create a ripple of harmony, boosting your well-being as well as that of others. Monks follow the principle of right speech by refraining from lies, gossip, or harmful words, aware that each utterance shapes their mental landscape. Right action extends this awareness to how they treat all living beings. Observe how your mood shifts after a day of gossip or unkind deeds versus a day of generosity and truthfulness. The difference is palpable. By aligning your words and deeds with compassion and honesty, you nurture inner tranquility. Buddha's insight here is straightforward. Choose your words and actions wisely, and you'll cultivate peace within and around you. Compassion and kindness. The secret to inner peace and strong relationships. Buddha's enlightenment journey wasn't self-serving. Compassion for all beings drove him to share what he learned. Compassion in Buddhism isn't a mere nicety. It's a profound recognition that all creatures experience suffering, and we have the power to alleviate it. This empathy dissolves walls between people, fostering genuine connection. Think about how you feel after helping someone without expecting anything in return. A warmth arises, affirming that kindness nourishes both giver and receiver. True compassion also involves understanding that everyone carries unseen struggles, thus inviting patience and forgiveness. When you choose to be kind, you aren't just being nice. You're participating in a universal bond that lifts everyone involved. Over time, consistent acts of kindness create an abiding sense of peace as you become more attuned to the shared nature of our existence. Buddha taught that the lamp you light for another also brightens your own path, turning compassion into a transformative force. The importance of solitude and silence. How monks master their minds. In a world cluttered with constant noise, the idea of solitude can seem unnerving. Yet Buddha spent extensive periods meditating alone, discovering that silence isn't emptiness, but a gateway to profound self-awareness. Without the usual chatter, your mind begins to reveal its hidden corners, thoughts, emotions, and patterns you might otherwise ignore. While monks may undertake long retreats, you don't have to isolate yourself in a distant monastery to benefit. Even a few minutes of deliberate silence each day can calm mental turbulence. Turn off notifications, sit comfortably, and notice your breath. Distractions will arise. Acknowledge them, then return to stillness. Over time, this practice grants clarity, emotional stability, and genuine self-control. In solitude, you learn the art of observing rather than reacting, freeing you from habitual responses. This inner mastery becomes evident in daily life. When chaos ensues, you retain calm, having learned that true peace often resides in the quiet spaces you've cultivated within. The law of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, and that's okay. Buddha identified impermanence, anicca, as a fundamental law governing everything. Relationships evolve, fortunes fluctuate, bodies age, and landscapes shift. Much of our pain emerges from trying to freeze what inevitably changes or from dreading the end of what we love. Yet impermanence can also be liberating. Knowing that no hardship is permanent brings hope. Realizing that joyful moments won't last forever encourages you to savor them. In this light, loss can foster gratitude rather than despair. Consider a rose. Part of its beauty is tied to its brief bloom. Without transience, we'd hardly value its petals. Embracing impermanence doesn't mean caring less. It means appreciating each experience more deeply. Next time you face a change, remember Buddha's counsel. Let impermanence guide you to live fully in each moment, neither clinging to what's passing nor fearing what comes next. When you accept life's flow, peace becomes a natural companion rather than an elusive goal. Gratitude and contentment. The key to true happiness. Buddha often spoke of contentment as the greatest wealth and gratitude as its seed. Our culture pushes us to want more: money, power, possessions, but none of these guarantee fulfillment. Like a bottomless cup, insatiable desire can never be fully satisfied. In contrast, gratitude shifts your perspective from what's missing to what's here. Each morning, you might reflect on simple gifts you already enjoy: a secure home, clean water, or the companionship of loved ones. Such reflection fosters a sense of sufficiency, easing the restless chase for external validation. Monks exemplify this when they gratefully accept daily alms, viewing every donation as a blessing, no matter how small. When you practice gratitude, you discover that real contentment isn't a result of endless accumulation, but of recognizing abundance in the present. By seeing that you already have enough to be at peace, you break free from the cycle of craving and rediscover the richness of what is. You've just discovered 10 monk rules inspired by Buddha's teachings. 10 insights that can shift your perspective and spark real change. Which one speaks to you most right now? Maybe you're drawn to embrace the middle way, or perhaps you're ready to explore mindfulness and acceptance. Remember, transformation happens one small step at a time, so pick a principle and weave it into your everyday life. If these ideas resonate with you, share your reflections in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about living with purpose, wisdom, and serenity, hit subscribe and join our community. Your journey to peace doesn't end here. It unfolds in every moment you choose to live with awareness, compassion, and an open heart. May these teachings light your path forward. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what am I really meant to do in this life? Maybe you feel lost, like you're drifting from one thing to the next without real direction. you're not alone. Many people spend their whole lives chasing success, approval, or comfort, only to realize they still feel empty inside. But what if the key isn't found outside at all? What if your purpose has been within you all along, waiting to be uncovered? Today, we're diving into the Buddha's wisdom on Dharma, the ancient yet timeless path to finding your true calling. Let's begin. Why this wisdom matters. Modern life can feel like a relentless chase. We pursue achievements, wealth, and validation, hoping they'll bring contentment. Yet the moment we reach one goal, another appears on the horizon, leaving a lingering question. Is this really what I meant to do? Centuries ago, Buddha noticed the same restless cycle. He realized that the mind's endless cravings and fears keep us from understanding our deeper calling. His solution wasn't about acquiring more, but awakening to who we already are. Dharma, in Buddhist teachings, refers to the universal law that each being has a natural path, a way of living that brings harmony and fulfillment. Rather than chasing outside approval, Buddha taught that true purpose emerges from looking inward. When you align with your Dharma, you stop feeling like you're drifting without a compass. Life takes on a sense of direction and meaning, guiding you toward lasting peace and genuine fulfillment. What is Dharma? Dharma, in Buddhist philosophy, is often described as the natural order or truth that governs life. But on a personal level, it's the path that resonates with your deepest self, the calling that aligns with your unique nature and abilities. Siddhartha Gautama discovered his Dharma when he left behind the empty comforts of palace life to seek a higher truth. The process of finding it wasn't about picking a random mission. It was about seeing clearly what he was born to do: lessen suffering in the world. In your own life, Dharma doesn't have to be a grand gesture like renouncing royalty. It could be as simple as using your gifts. Maybe you're a born teacher, a healer, or a creator. The key is feeling an inner click, a sense that what you're doing aligns with your values and talents. Buddha taught that living your Dharma isn't about self-indulgence. It's about participating in the flow of life's natural harmony. The importance of introspection. Many people struggle to find their purpose because they rarely pause to look inward. Buddha spent years in meditation, not to avoid the world, but to truly see his own mind. Through silence and introspection, he uncovered a deeper vision for his life. In our age of ceaseless distractions, carving out time for stillness is more vital than ever. Introspection means deliberately turning your focus inward, observing your thoughts, emotions, and instincts without immediate judgment. You might start by asking, what activities bring me a quiet sense of joy? Or, what problems do I care about solving? Just as a calm lake reflects the surrounding landscape clearly, a quiet mind reveals genuine passions and interests. This clarity doesn't appear overnight, but each moment spent in meditation, journaling, or peaceful reflection peels back another layer of self-ignorance. According to Buddha, knowing yourself is the first step toward knowing your Dharma, overcoming attachments and illusions. Buddha famously taught that suffering arises from attachment, clinging to people, possessions, or ideas as if they were permanent. This same attachment can cloud our sense of purpose. Often, we latch onto identities, like a lucrative career or social status, because we believe they define us or keep us safe. Yet these attachments can block our true calling if we chase them for the wrong reasons. Imagine someone who dreams of being an artist but sticks to a corporate job for prestige or security. Their attachment to approval or comfort suppresses the very spark that would guide them toward their authentic path. Buddha's insight wasn't about rejecting all responsibilities. It was about recognizing illusions. Things change, reputations fade, and rigid expectations often lead to disappointment. By letting go of what you feel forced to be, you make room for what you genuinely are. In that space, Dharma has the freedom to emerge. Mindfulness as a key to purpose. Mindfulness isn't just a relaxation technique. In Buddha's life, it was the gateway to self-discovery. When you practice mindfulness, you pay close attention to each moment, your breath, sensations, and thoughts, without judging or altering them. This openness reveals the motivations and desires that typically hide beneath the surface. The more you observe your mind, the more patterns you see, clarifying what truly resonates with you. Consider how often you make decisions on autopilot, influenced by habit or social pressure. Mindfulness disrupts this cycle by shining a light on the reasons behind your choices. Over time, you might notice that certain activities energize you while others drain your spirit. You'll also see which values consistently guide you toward fulfillment. This awareness helps you discern between fleeting impulses and genuine callings. Buddha's quest under the Bodhi tree wasn't about escaping the world. It was about understanding his mind. From that understanding, his purpose naturally unfolded. The role of service in discovering Dharma. When Buddha attained enlightenment, he didn't vanish into solitude. Instead, he spent the rest of his life teaching and helping others. His compassion was woven into his Dharma. This illustrates a powerful truth. Your purpose often intersects with benefiting others. Not because self-sacrifice is required, but because we thrive in community and find deeper meaning through service. Think of someone whose natural talent is cooking. If they keep it to themselves, it remains just a skill. But if they share it, nourishing friends or running a small eatery, they transform cooking into something purposeful. By alleviating hunger or simply bringing people joy, they're living their Dharma. Buddha taught that the highest calling involves a harmony between your gifts and the world's needs. Service helps ensure you're not just chasing personal gratification. Instead, you connect with humanity, experiencing a sense of unity that can't be replicated by purely self-centered goals. Embracing impermanence to find direction. A crucial Buddhist teaching is impermanence, the reality that everything changes. How does this help in finding your purpose? It reminds you that waiting for the perfect time is an illusion. Conditions will never be flawlessly stable, and your interests or circumstances might shift over time. Buddha observed that people often postpone living in alignment with their deeper truths because they're stuck in someday thinking. Embracing impermanence frees you to act now. Yes, your passions may evolve, and that's okay. Dharma isn't a single static point, but a path that flows with life's changes. You might realize that a calling that once defined you no longer ignites the same spark, and that's a natural part of growth. By accepting impermanence, you relieve the pressure to find a lifelong mission carved in stone. Instead, you focus on doing what feels most aligned in the present, letting the journey guide you forward. The middle way, cultivating balance in pursuit of purpose. Buddha's middle way teaches that extremes, whether indulgence or denial, rarely lead to lasting peace. This principle applies to finding purpose as well. Some people swing between obsessive work and utter disengagement, hoping one end of the spectrum will reveal their calling. Yet purpose emerges more organically when you maintain balance. If you push yourself too hard, you risk burnout, missing cues from your body and mind that point toward a more authentic path. If you do too little, you remain stagnant, never testing your abilities in the world. A balanced pursuit of Dharma involves dedication without self-punishment, ambition without relentless striving. Buddha himself tested extremes, living in luxury as a prince, then practicing severe asceticism. Neither satisfied his yearning for truth. The middle way ultimately guided him to enlightenment. In your own quest for purpose, balance keeps you grounded, attentive, and resilient, ready to adapt while staying true to yourself. Practical steps to walk your Dharma. Buddha's teachings are grounded in real-world action, not mere theory. Start by setting aside daily time for introspection, whether through meditation, journaling, or silent reflection. Observe the moments when you feel energized and fulfilled. These can be signposts toward your Dharma. Practice non-attachment by asking if certain goals are really yours, or just inherited from societal or familial expectations. Another key step is conscious experimentation. Dare to try new roles or projects in small, manageable ways. If it resonates, delve deeper. If not, learn from the experience and move on. Service can also shape your path. Volunteer in areas that interest you, support friends and neighbors, or mentor someone in a skill you excel at. Each act of kindness refines your sense of purpose. Remember Buddha's acceptance of impermanence. Allow your dharma to evolve, trusting that each step brings you closer to a life that feels genuinely right. Your purpose isn't something you have to create. It's something you discover, something that aligns with who you truly are. The more you quiet the outside noise and listen to yourself, the clearer your path becomes. So take that first step, reflect, explore, and let go of what no longer serves you. What insight resonated with you the most today? Drop a comment and let me know. And if this wisdom speaks to you, subscribe and join our journey of self-discovery. Your purpose is waiting. It's time to embrace it. See you in the next one. Have you ever felt like no matter what you achieve, it's never enough? You get what you want, a new job, more money, recognition. But soon, a new desire takes its place. It's an endless cycle. And the more you chase, the more restless you become. Over 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, saw this same struggle. As a prince, he had everything, wealth, luxury, and comfort, but still felt something was missing. He left it all behind in search of truth and discovered a profound realization. Happiness isn't found in having more, but in needing less. Today, we'll explore Buddha's path to contentment, the wisdom that can free you from endless craving and help you find peace in the present. If you've ever wondered why fulfillment feels just out of reach, this lesson will change how you see life forever. Let's begin. The endless trap of desire. Why more is never enough. Siddhartha Gautama, before becoming the Buddha, grew up surrounded by luxury and splendor. He had silk robes, the finest foods, and every comfort a palace could offer. Yet, despite having more than most could ever dream of, a sense of emptiness lingered within him. He observed that the satisfaction from each pleasure was always short-lived, quickly replaced by another craving. This observation led him to question the nature of human desire itself. Why, he wondered, do we never feel completely fulfilled, no matter how much we possess? He came to realize that desire is like a fire. It consumes everything we feed it, yet remains eternally hungry. The more we indulge, the stronger the flame becomes, compelling us to chase the next new thing. Even when we achieve our goals, a fresh longing arises, leaving us restless and unsatisfied. The prince understood that true peace could never be found in the cycle of endless wanting. Instead, it lay in breaking free from that very cycle. If even someone living in unimaginable luxury could feel incomplete, it became clear that no amount of external abundance could fill the void within. By questioning the illusion that more is always better, Siddhartha began his journey toward understanding the deeper nature of contentment. The illusion of external happiness. Why looking inward is the answer. Gautama Buddha's most profound breakthrough came when he realized that external pleasures, no matter how abundant, failed to produce lasting happiness. He noticed that people often tie their well-being to outcomes, wealth, relationships, status, but each of these can vanish in an instant. When that happens, despair sets in, revealing that their sense of joy was built on a shaky foundation. He likened this chase to filling a leaking pot, where no matter how much water you pour in, it can never stay full. In his search for truth, the Buddha discovered that real peace arises when you stop clinging to what is fleeting. Instead of looking outward, he turned his gaze inward, realizing that happiness must be cultivated from within. The outside world will always shift and change. Possessions can be lost, loved ones can leave, and achievements can fade. But the mind, when properly trained, can remain calm and content regardless of these fluctuations. By embracing the truth that everything external is transient, he freed himself from the bondage of constant worry. This approach does not mean denying life's joys. It means understanding that they are gifts to be cherished, not idols to be worshipped. In the end, Buddha's lesson is simple yet transformative. Lasting contentment comes not from manipulating the world around us, but from harmonizing the world within. The power of gratitude. How to shift your mindset. Throughout his teachings, the Buddha emphasized a practice of appreciation for what is already present. Rather than always yearning for the next best thing, he encouraged a mindful acknowledgement of small blessings that often go unnoticed. In the monastic tradition, monks demonstrate this principle by living on alms, receiving only what is offered each day. Through this humble way of life, they learn to feel thankful for every grain of rice, every drop of water, and every moment of peace that graces their path. This deep gratitude transforms ordinary experiences into sources of joy, proving that fulfillment is not about quantity, but perspective. By paying attention to life's details, a warm sunrise, a shared smile, a quiet moment of reflection, we shift our focus from what's missing to what's already here. Buddha taught that our suffering often stems from an endless pursuit of more, which blinds us to the abundance at our fingertips. When we pause to be grateful for the present, we break the habit of restlessly scanning the horizon for the next desire. In doing so, we discover that life itself is a gift, and contentment isn't found in the grandiose, but in the recognition of life's simplest treasures. In this state of open-hearted gratitude, the mind softens and a gentle peace emerges, revealing that the key to contentment has been within us all along. The burden of possessions. Why owning more won't make you happier? Buddha observed that while wealth and possessions can provide comfort, they often bring about a hidden weight, the constant fear of loss. He noticed how those with great riches were often anxious, worried that their fortune might slip away. The more they owned, the more they had to protect, and the more they lived in the shadow of fear. Even someone who accumulated vast treasures could never rest, for the satisfaction of possessing did not eradicate insecurity. It merely transformed it into a different form of worry. In one well-known tale, a wealthy merchant lost part of his fortune and fell into despair as if his life had collapsed. Buddha pointed out that his suffering was not caused by the loss itself, but by his attachment. The merchant had identified so completely with his possessions that when they vanished, he felt empty and unworthy. This story highlights a profound truth. If you let your self-worth hinge on what you own, you grant those objects the power to control your peace of mind. The Buddha's solution was clear. Possessions need not be abandoned, but the attachment to them must be softened. When we realize that happiness cannot be imprisoned in material things, we begin to free ourselves from the constant anxiety of preserving what might be taken from us. Simplicity and detachment. The art of needing less. Buddha's path, known as the middle way, was neither indulgent nor severe. He had witnessed both extremes, the lavish life of a prince and the harsh practices of asceticism. What he discovered was a balanced route, one that allowed for basic needs but did not indulge needless cravings. This practice of simplicity arose from the understanding that true freedom lies not in acquiring everything, but in letting go of the compulsion to have it all. By detaching from excess, we create room for what genuinely matters, calmness of mind and clarity of purpose. Monks in the Buddhist tradition embody this principle by owning only the necessities. They walk through life with a lightness that contrasts sharply with the heaviness some experience when juggling endless possessions. Each item is purposeful, and there is a sense of gratitude rather than entitlement. This approach extends beyond physical items. Mental clutter, unresolved grudges, constant comparisons, or obsessive desires can weigh us down just as much as material possessions. By cultivating detachment, we free ourselves from these mental chains. The practice does not call for us to reject life's joys, but to embrace them without being enslaved by them, confident that our contentment does not rest on any single external factor. Finding contentment in impermanence. Impermanence, or anicca, is a cornerstone of Buddha's teachings. He recognized that all things, from the seasons to our personal fortunes, are in a constant state of flux. Nothing remains stable forever, and attempting to cling to any moment, person, or possession inevitably leads to disappointment. Many of us resist change, longing for good times to last or hoping to avoid life's hardships. Yet, in doing so, we set ourselves up for suffering, because reality unfolds with or without our approval. Buddha illustrated this truth with the parable of the broken cup. When a monk drinks from his cup, he does so with the awareness that one day it will fall, crack, or be lost. By viewing the cup as already broken, he appreciates it fully in the present. When it eventually breaks, he remains calm, for he never assumed it was permanent. This lesson teaches us to cherish what we have, while accepting that nothing is guaranteed to last. Instead of fearing the passage of time, we learn to embrace each moment as unique and fleeting, deepening our sense of gratitude. In this acceptance of life's impermanence, we find a peace that is not shaken by change because we have stopped waging war against the natural flow of existence. The role of mindfulness in cultivating true contentment. Mindfulness is at the heart of Buddhist practice, a method Buddha used to train his mind to remain steady in both comfort and adversity. It involves paying keen attention to the present moment, observing thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. Through this attentive awareness, Buddha discovered that suffering arises when we get lost in the future or dwell in the past. By rooting ourselves in the here and now, we access a calmness that neither anticipates difficulties nor replays old mistakes. This mindful approach can be as simple as pausing to notice your breath. Each inhalation and exhalation serves as an anchor, reminding you that life unfolds one moment at a time. When we practice mindfulness daily, we learn to let intrusive cravings come and go without acting on them, and we see fears for what they are, temporary waves in the vast ocean of our consciousness. Buddha showed that by consistently returning to this calm, centered state, we develop the ability to recognize contentment in even the smallest details of life. This does not require dramatic changes or grandiose efforts. Rather, it calls for deliberate awareness. Over time, this steady observance reveals that real satisfaction is not something you hunt in the outside world, but something you nurture within yourself. In the end, Buddha's journey reminds us that life is not about endlessly pursuing the next desire. True contentment arises when we learn to let go of what we cannot keep, savor what we already have, and accept the flow of constant change. If these teachings resonate with you, pause for a moment and reflect on a single aspect of your life that you often overlook. Could there be contentment waiting for you if you simply choose to see it? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and if this journey into Buddhist wisdom inspired you, consider subscribing for more. May you find the peace that comes from needing less and living more fully in each moment.